Hello YouTube. In this video, I want to share some great resources to learn how to build a large language model. You know, a lot of the content that's out there that talks about AI, they teach you how to be a power user. They teach you how to consume the technology built by others. Whereas this course, they teach you how to actually build the technology from scratch. Obviously, at the end of the course, you do not build a frontier model like ChatGPT or Gemini, but it seems that you end up building a coherent small language model, you know, and it teach you how to build the high level components that make up a language model. I took a look at their architecture class and it was phenomenal. But I want to walk you a little bit about what you get in this course. I'm not taking it, I'm only observing it, but it's just so challenging and so intriguing that it's something that I want to share with my audience. So if you take a look at their syllabus, you know, the course goes from April to May or June, and their first assignment is extremely competitive. You know, they give students about 15 days to implement it, and it is really, really competitive. So let's take a look. If you go to the assignment 1, in the very first assignment, they ask you to implement a Byte-Pair Encoding, a transformer language model, a Cross-Entropy Loss function, and the AdamW optimizer. And lastly, the training loop with support for serializing and loading model and optimizer state. And if you read through this document, they give you a phenomenal explanation about what a Byte-Pair Encoding Tokenizer is. They give you a great example down in page 7 about how this should work. Right? If you read it, it seems pretty straightforward, pretty simple. But once you start implementing it, is when you really start to appreciate the complexity of it. I went ahead and I took a stab at building the Byte-Pair Encoding Tokenizer, which is one out of the 4 items that you need to implement as part of this assignment. And you know, I want to make a detailed YouTube video about how to build your Byte-Pair Encoding Tokenizer, just to make that technology more accessible to everybody. So if you take a look here, I went ahead and I implemented the BPE myself. It's pretty straightforward up until step 3, which is the merging step, because the first step, you just need to set up your vocabulary, and then you populate your vocabulary with the special tokens and with bytes from 0 to 255, which allow you to merge your text later on. But you know, it took me about 3 days to have a good starting point, and it took me about 5 days to pass all my tests. And if you can see, my 3 tests to validate my tokenizer are passing. So I really want to create a YouTube video that goes step by step how to do it yourself. Hopefully I can motivate 1 or 2 people to learn this technology, including myself. You know, the best way to learn something is to teach it and to synthesize what you're doing and to communicate it. So hopefully I can share that with my audience here. But again, if you really want to go from being a user of the technology to a developer or an engineer of the technology, this course right here is an excellent resource. Stanford CS336, language modeling from scratch. Phenomenal. It won't teach you how to be a power user, rather it will teach you how to build the technology. And at the end, you will have an excellent project. It seems that at the end, you end up building a small language model that produce children's stories. So I'll probably take the course myself step by step. And I'll keep you guys posted. Thank you.